A very warm welcome to one and all. I am Professor M.S. Patil, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samajas, Karmavir Advocate Baburao Ganpatrao Thakre, College of Engineering, Nasik. In the previous video lecture, we have studied about different types of levers, application of those levers, and design of the levers. Now, in this session, we are going to study about the numericals on the applications of the lever. Now, starting with the first application, this particular lever we are designing to operate a safety valve which is mounted on the boiler and which should be blow off at a certain pressure. Why it is necessary that the valve should blow at a certain pressure? Because each boiler is designed to be operated at a certain pressure only. If the pressure of the steam inside the boiler exceeds that limit, then there are chances of accidents, bursting of the boiler. So excess steam has to be relieved and the pressure inside the boiler should be brought below the safer values. Therefore, starting with the numerical, a lever loaded safety valve is mounted on the boiler to blow off at a pressure of 1.5 megapascal gauge. The effective diameter of the opening of the valve is 50 mm. The distance between the fulcrum and the dead weights on the lever is 1000 mm. Distance between the fulcrum and the pin connecting the valve spindle to the lever is 100 mm. The lever and the pin are made up of plain carbon steel 30C8 and the yield stress for that material is given as 400 Newton per mm square and the factor of safety is 5. The permissible bearing pressure at the pins in the lever is 25 Newton per mm square. The lever has a rectangular cross section and the ratio of width to thickness is 3:1. So design a suitable lever for the safety valve. So from this numerical, we will extract what data is given and what other things have to be calculated. So starting with, right, we will first draw the construction of a lever loaded safety valve. This is fulcrum, this is valve, which is to be blow off at a certain pressure. That certain pressure is given as 1.5 megapascal. If the pressure inside the boiler, if it remains within certain limits, then this dead weight, that is the effort, will always close the valve. But if the pressure inside the boiler exceeds the forces which are acting at the effort end, then this force will become more and it will try to lift the valve. The valve will open and the excess steam will go out. Once the pressure inside the boiler drops, then automatically the weight will exert larger force than this force and it will come down. In this way, it operates. So in this valve, what is given? This is load. So L2 becomes the load arm and the distance is given as fulcrum pin and the pin connecting the valve spindle is 100 mm. So L2 becomes 100 mm. And what is again given? Distance between the fulcrum and the dead weights on the lever. This is dead weight, fulcrum. So L1 becomes 1000, L2 becomes 100. B and D are mentioned over here. Okay, right? Diameter of this valve is 50 mm and 1.5 megapascal is the pressure. So using the relation of pressure is equal to force upon area. Area of valve can be considered. So pressure 1.5, force which is to be calculated F upon pi by 450 square. So F can be calculated, right? So rewriting the things, SYT, factor of safety. For valve, the diameter is given, pressure is given. For lever, right, L1 is given, L2 is given, D by B is mentioned as 3, and for pin, the bearing pressure is given as 25 Newton per mm square. So starting with the calculation of force, right? Calculation of permissible stresses. Permissible stresses we will calculate first. So sigma T is equal to SYT upon factor of safety according to principal stress theory, and tau is SSY. SSY is 0.5 SYT upon factor of safety. This is maximum shear stress theory. So using this, we can calculate the permissible stresses and calculation of forces acting on the lever. So P is equal to force upon 5 by 4 D square. Using this, you can calculate the amount of force. So force comes out to be 2945.24. Then we can calculate P by taking moment about F. Okay, a moment about fulcrum. Okay, so P into 1000 is equal to F into 100. Okay, so we can calculate the value of P. P comes out to be 294.52. Then we will go for calculation of reaction from the direction of the forces. It is clear that R plus P is equal to F. Okay, so we can calculate using that relation, right? So R will be equal to F minus P. R is equal to 2650.7. Okay, so from the values of these three forces, F is 2945, P is 294.52, and R is 2650. Therefore, F is larger. And so instead of designing the fulcrum pin, we can design the load pin. And same load pin can be applied at the fulcrum also. And it is going to sustain that load because that load is less than the F. Okay. Then the third step is to calculate the diameter and the length of the pin, right? Relation between diameter and length of the pin is not given, but in the design procedure, L1 upon D1 can be equal to 1 to 2. So here we have considered it as 1. So L1 is equal to D1. Considering bearing pressure criteria, we can calculate bearing pressure is equal to force upon area. So using this equation, we have calculated. See here, we have not used R, we are using F because F is greater than R. So we have calculated the diameter of the fulcrum pin as 12. So length of the fulcrum pin can be also taken as 12 mm. Then we will check whether the calculated diameter of 12 mm is safe in shear or not. So checking it for double shear, tau is equal to force upon area. So using this equation, the shear stress comes out to be 13.02. See, this is induced shear stress, while 40 Newton per mm square is permissible shear stress. So induced shear stress due to action of force is 13.02. Permissible is 40. And therefore, we can say that the pin is safe in shear because it is quite less than 40 Newton per mm square. So important to note here what I have told, right? As F is greater than R, we have used F for calculating the pin. Otherwise, we will be using R. This facilitates the interchangeability of parts and reduction of the variety. Then next part is to calculate the width and thickness of the lever. Now D1 is the diameter of the pin is calculated. So we can calculate the bush and the boss diameters. Okay. Diameter of the bush can be calculated. Diameter of the pin plus 2 mm thickness. 2 into 2, 4. 12 plus 4, 16 mm. And the outside diameter of boss is kept twice of the inside diameter. So it can be taken as to be 32 mm. Okay. So here you can see all the parameters. This is 100 mm. This is 1000 mm. Weakest section will be over here. So it will be P into 1000 minus 100 minus diameter radius of boss, which will be 32 divided by 2, 16. So 1000 minus 100 minus 16 multiplied by P will give us the bending on 1000 minus 100 minus this, right? So we got the value, right, as this one. Okay. Then for a lever, sigma B is equal to, considering flexural formula, right? D is equal to 3B is given. Putting all the values in this equation, we can calculate the value of B as 26.96, 27 mm and D as 81 mm. So in this way, we have designed the cross section of the lever. Now we will solve one more numerical, which is related to a right angled bell crank lever, right, which is used to be designed to raise a load of 5 kilonewton. At the short arm end, the lengths of the short and long arms are 100 and 450 mm respectively. The lever and the pins are made up of steel. SYT is given, factor of safety is given, permissible bearing pressure is given as 10 Newton per mm square. Cross section is rectangular with width to thickness ratio 3:1. L1 upon D1 is given as 1.25:1. and these parameters are to be calculated. First, diameter and length of fulcrum pin, shear stress in the pin, dimension of the boss of the lever at the fulcrum, and dimension of the cross section of the lever. Assume that the arm of the bending moment on the lever extends up to the axis of the fulcrum. So here we have to calculate the bending moment at up to the axis, right? So what is given? A bell crank lever, shorter arm 100, larger arm 450. At the larger arm, effort is there. At the shorter arm, force is there. Cross section is rectangular. Okay, so these are the given data, right? Then first we will calculate the value of the stresses, permissible stresses, using principal stress theory and shear stress theory, 80 Newton per mm square and 40 Newton per mm square. Then we are going to calculate the forces, taking moment about fulcrum. P into 450 is equal to 5 into 5 means 5000 into 100. We'll get the value of P. R can be calculated as theta is, in case of bell crank lever, theta is equal to 90 degree. So it will be f square plus p square only. So 5121.97. So R is maximum in this case. So we are going to use R for the design of fulcrum pin, right? Length and diameter of the fulcrum pin. Bearing pressure is equal to force upon area, right? So it is 1.25 D1 is given length. So we have calculated L1 and D1 using this equation. Then we can check for shear stresses, double shear, right? Using the equation, tau is equal to reaction upon area. It comes out to be 7.96 Newton per mm square, which is again quite less than the permissible value. And the dimensions of the boss can be specified as, okay, inner diameter is equal to 21, outer diameter 42, right? It depends on the diameter of the pin, and length is 26 mm. Right? And finally, the dimensions of cross section, right? D is equal to 3B is given. Bending moment extends to the center, so 5000 into 100. Putting all the values, we can calculate the width, 16.09, and the depth, thrice width, we can calculate it as 48.27. So these are the numericals based on the applications of the lever. First one was for lever loaded safety valve, and second one was the bell crank lever. So this is the entire design procedure and numericals on the bell crank lever. In the next lecture, next session, we will talk about the concept of eccentric loading. Thank you for now. Thank you very much for listening the video session very patiently. Thank you.